Serious, what do you think is the creepiest or most disturbing unsolved mystery ever? The Ibadan Forest of Horror in Nigeria. A local taxi driver goes missing and his friends create a makeshift search party and investigate a forest. Instead of finding their friend, they find an abandoned school or factory that have the remnants of a hellish torture/murder, ritual killing, and human trafficking. 8 survivors were rescued. Numerous body parts, rotting corpses, and personal artifacts were found. The perpetrators were never found, although local politicians and ritualists were suspects. Whilst this discovery is disturbing, the mystery for me is that the original taxi driver still hasn't been found. I am an avid unresolved mysteries reader, and I don't know why it has stuck with but Carly Guza. 16-year-old girl called her stepmother to pick her up from a party, reportedly was too scared to sleep because she thought someone would kill her, and the next day she disappeared. There was some weird interviews and dynamics between step-parents and birth parents, and a bunch of theories abound. Her father was just arrested for corporal injury to spouse. No further details have been released, but that's a pretty scary charge. Seems like dad has anger issues and stepmom disliked the girl. Her poor mother. The disappearance of Zeb Quinn. He was 18 years old when he went missing in 2000. Was working his shift at a local Walmart and afterwards wanted to look at a new car with a colleague, when he allegedly received a call that made him take off frantically. After that he was never seen again. The strangest thing is that a few days later his car was found in a parking lot, with the headlights turned on, a pair of lips and an exclamation mark drawn on the back window in pink lipstick, and a live Labrador puppy sitting inside. In 2017 the colleague was arrested for his murder, but all the strange details still make no sense at all. That all just sounds so strange. Poor bloke, and his poor family. I doubt they'll ever get a proper answer. The disappearance of Lars Mittank. A German man who went on vacation in Bulgaria in 2014. He was last seen at the airport, where he was brought into a private room by airport security after his mother had called telling them her son was behaving strangely, saying there were people after him over the phone the night before. A few minutes later, he's seen bolting, and I mean full-on sprinting out of the room without his luggage. He ran out of airport, scaled the huge fences around the perimeter, and was never seen again. Hundreds of witnesses, CCTV footage, and a police presence, and the man still basically disappeared off the face of the earth in broad daylight. Firstly, the murder of JonBenet Ramsey. Just the idea that her own parents might have done it is disturbing, especially considering the circumstances. And also, the Keddy Cabin murders. Not only did the 14-year-old daughter of one of the victims find them tied up and stabbed to death, 3 more kids were still asleep in the bedroom, having no idea what had happened. Have you seen the crazy guy on Facebook claiming his father did the Keddy Cabin murders? Wild stuff. A lesser-known one that sticks with me is Selena Mays. 12 years old, 9 months pregnant, disappears from her room overnight. She didn't bring any belongings with her, and neither she or the baby have ever been found. Her dad and his family were involved with a shady church, but there's no proof they know what happened to her. The obvious theory is that her baby's father killed her and hid the body to avoid statutory rape charges, but nobody knows, or will admit to knowing, anyhow, who he was. 12 years old, 9 months pregnant by an unknown person, forced to complete the pregnancy due to the family's religion, part of a church with a particularly authoritarian leader where she was also homeschooled, disappears overnight from her family home with nothing and no disturbance. That's a terrible story all around. The murder of Robert Wone is something I think about often. He was with friends, just staying the night, and what happened to him sounds brutal. Even more disturbing to me is the fact that everyone who was in that house that evening seemingly have a pact of silence and are walking around free as a bird. How brutal. Incapacitated, then sexually assaulted. All of his friends are very suspicious in this case and more than likely were the ones who killed him or know who killed him. Missy Beavers. A suspect in full SWAT armor breaks into a church and smashes windows and breaks open doors with a hammer, looking for a local fitness instructor. They then find and beat her to death before getting away. There is high-quality surveillance video of both them and their car, but investigators couldn't make out the license plate. There has been a suspect who was cleared because of an alibi, and there's been no recent updates.